what the science of chaos has given us is three principles that are applicable in the market. The first principle is that everything in the universe, you, your shoes, your toenails, your market orders, everything in the universe follows, always follows the path of least resistance. So when the market goes up, that's the path of least resistance. When it stays the same, that's the path of least resistance. When it goes down, that's the path of least resistance. The reason you're sitting where you're sitting right now is because when you came in here and other people were going around, that seat happened to be the path of least resistance with all your motives going at that point. Second principle is that this path of least resistance is determined by the always underlying and usually unseen structure. The path of least resistance is determined by the always underlying and usually unseen structure. Let me give you a couple of examples. Let's say you have a river running down the mountain. Now, the behavioral decisions that that river makes depends not upon the mind of the river, but it depends upon the riverbed. So if you have a riverbed that's shallow and narrow, that river is going to be going down in rapids. If you have a riverbed that's wide and narrow and deep, you're going to have a calm pond. So if you want to change the flow of that river, you can get down there with buckets and try to do it and get a bucket brigade, or you can go up the mountain and where it's a small river and change one little rock or two or three little rocks or dam it up very easily and change the direction, and it will change everything. Now, one of the things that chaos teaches us is that Newton's laws of motions don't apply universally. They apply to man-made things, but not universally. And they have a thing they call the butterfly effect, which is simply that this little monarch butterfly somewhere in South America is flying around looking for some pollen, and he sees a little flower over here, and as he's going over there, he sees a better flower over here, changes his mind, that's a fractal, and he flies over here. Now that sets up a little air current, and that air current sets up another air current that sets up another air current that keeps the high-level winds off of the Antarctic, which causes an El Nino, which causes a drought next year in the bean belt, and we're going to have beans in the team because that little monarch butterfly changed his mind there. Now this is kind of ridiculous, but the point is that the cause and the effects are not equal, that the effects can be all out of proportion to what the causes are. Let me give you another example. Let's say that right now you were hit by a sudden urge to go to the bathroom, and you had to get up and go to the bathroom. You would probably get up wherever you are and squeeze by somebody and go out the door and go that way and then turn left or right. The bathroom is really over there, isn't it? But the most direct approach. But in your life experiences, you've learned that it's not too healthy to bump into too many walls. So your behavior is going to be changed. Now, as you're going to the bathroom, you probably are not going to be aware that your behavior is mightily influenced by the architect who drew these plans and the builder who built the building. You're just going to go to the bathroom. So your behavior is determined by the always underlying and usually unseen behavior. Same thing is true with the market. Now the third principle, which is our savior, is that this unseen behavior or this unseen structure, underlying unseen structure, can be discovered and it can be changed. So you can change the river one of two ways. You can change the riverbed, or you can change what's going on. Let me give you another example. Let's do an experiment here. And by the way, any of you here who don't have these pages? Everybody get 2 pages? Okay, take one of these pages. We're going to do an experiment. And what I'd like for you to do, this is a game. And the name of the game, these are random numbers. And up here on the screen, you can see that, let me get a pointer here. Yeah, great. If you don't have 2 of these sheets, take 2. And we need 2. We're only going to use 1. But number 1 is up here in the far left-hand corner. What we're going to play is a trading game. And the way we're going to determine how successful you are is how high you can go in the numbers. So what we're going to do in a moment, don't do it yet. We're going to put our pin there, and then we're going to move it over here to number 2, and then we're going to look for 3, and these are the number of successful trades you've been able to do. So the higher your number, the more profitable trader you are. And I'm going to time you, and your job is to go from one to the other as fast as you can when I say go. Okay? Put your pencil on 1 and go. There are no losers. It's just how many winners you can get. 3, 2, 1, stop. Okay, let me ask you, how many of you made it to 15 or greater? May I see your hands? Anybody make it to 1 to 15? Great. Star Trader. Give him the crown over here. How many got 10 or more? Okay, good. How many got 5 or more? Okay, now let's do another little look at this, and what I'd like for you to do is take the blank sheet you have, not the one you have marked up, but the second sheet you have, and fold it this way. Fold it long ways, if you would, and then just crease it down the middle. And after you've creased it down the middle well, so that you have a center line, open it up again, and just look at that. And what do you notice about the two sides of the paper? Anything interesting? Yes. All the odd numbers are on one side and all the even numbers are on the other side. Now what does that tell you? That tells you that for every time you go from one number to another, you're going to have to cross the center line. So all of a sudden, just by knowing this tiny, tiny bit about the underlying structure, it gives you direction for your behavior. It means that when you hit 1 over here and then go to 2, you can eliminate all of these choices. All of these are going to be bad trades. Your next good trade is going to be over here. And then when you make that one, your next good trade is going to be over here. Now, take the sheet again this way and fold it the other way so that you're creating 4 quarters in it. Okay, now, I will tell you the answer to this one because this is a little bit more subtle substructure. But if you look at it, you'll notice that the first 6 numbers, 1 through 6, are on the top half. 12 through 18 are on the bottom half. 19 through 24 is on the top. 25 through whatever, 30 is on the bottom. So every half dozen numbers, you're going to have to cross this line. So when you go from 1 to 2, you know not only that 3 is going to be over here, but 3 is going to be in the top half. So now you have eliminated 3/4 of the static here. Because you know that 3 is going to be there. You know that 4 is going to be there, 5 is going to be there, 6 is going to be there, and 7 is going to be down here someplace, 8 is going to be there, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13 is going to be up there someplace. And that's all. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to ask you to repeat this, except this time I'm going to take 1/3 of the time off because you've had a little practice. So we're going to take 1/3 of the time off to eliminate the practice you had, and put your pencil on 1, and when I say go, let's go again. Okay, ready, go. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, stop. Okay, how many of you now, we had one that got past 15. What was your number first, your first number?
I did not follow the rules.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. The FBI sting's going to be after you soon. How many got more than 15? Anybody get more than 15? Okay, how many got more than 10? Let me ask you this question. How many of you got twice as many as you did the first go? Okay, look at this. About 90% did twice as much in 2/3 of the time, and who said 3 times? You got 3 times as much. Okay. And 15? Great. In 2/3 of the time. So we've cut the time down to eliminate the practice effect, and yet just knowing that little bit about the underlying structure gives you a tremendous advantage. Same thing is exactly true in trading. Now, let's talk about what a fractal looks like in trading. And on page 9, GG9, we have a series of different kind of fractals.